Good morning. We're live from Fly on the Wall Productions. Main Street, Barrie, Vermont on Facebook and YouTube and streamed everywhere that you get your podcasts and on the web at airedoutvt.com. Paul Brodie with me this morning.
Hello.
Sat down in the car this morning to come in, Paul.
Yeah.
Left the goddamn window cracked about 3 or 4 inches.
Perfect.
And now, my ass is soaking wet. Tell me you've never done that.
I've never done that.
Oh, you're so full of shit. Of course you've done that.
You told me to tell you no.
Of course you've.
I don't know that I have.
You've never left your window open a crack and then it's pouring rain and then you sit down in your seat and the first 25% of your seat is soaking wet? And then you got wet underwear for the rest of the day in a swamp ass?
I can't remember if I ever have or not.
Well, I know that I'm going to have a swamp ass today.
I think... No, I don't know. I don't think I ever have. I've got those... I've always seemed to always have those rain shields on my vehicles.
Oh.
So I've got windows down maybe a little bit. The water doesn't get in there. But
Well, Roger Hill is saying clouds off and on rain showers today and 68 for the daytime high. So more
sounds
rain.
good to me.
Yeah, more rain today. You like the rain?
Oh, I love this. This is perfect.
Really?
I mean, if I wanted to be out clearing tree branches and weeds and stuff, it wouldn't be ideal. I'd be soaking wet. But
Sure.
this is great if I'm not working in it.
There is something that's magical about weather like this. I don't know what
I
it
like
is.
it.
Some clouds tonight, some rain, mainly this evening, down around 55, and then tomorrow on Wednesday, looks like more of the same. Partly cloudy. Paul and I like to say partly sunny.
Depends.
Yes, it does. We've been into this before. We've
We
had
have.
this. We've analyzed this before.
Yep.
But
Deeply.
clouds and rain showers for the afternoon. Even some thunder possible.
I like thunder.
You do.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
We might see the giant orange ball in the sky on Thursday.
The sun?
We might.
That one?
The sun is possible. I want to begin this morning by checking in with Raylene, see if we can catch her because she is so excited. She is starting her own podcast.
Nice.
Good morning.
There she is, right there. Tell us about this. 12 noon today is the official. All boosters are going to be plugged in, and it's go time.
That's right. We're going to launch It's No Secret. And my first guest will be Dottie Moffat. And just super excited about it. It's a podcast that will focus on addiction and mental health. And I'm super excited.
You have, Raylene, so much content. I mean, you're I don't think you're ever going to be at a loss for content ever.
I don't think so either. Right now we have 14 weeks of guests. So that for the next 14 weeks, I already have people booked to come in, ranging from counselors, law enforcement, people that are currently struggling, people that are in recovery, family members, just people from all walks of all of it.
Incredible. So Dottie Moffat, tell us a little bit about your 12 noon guest today, your first episode.
So Dottie is a drug and alcohol she's a therapist and she licensed counselor. And I met her years ago when she worked for Valley Vista as a counselor there. And she's been my rock for a really long time. As a parent of an addict, you often feel alone, and Dottie makes sure that never happens, not just for her patient, but for their families as well. And I'm super, super grateful for her. And I can't wait to have her back. We've had her on Aired Out several times. And so, and today, to have her on today and to start the show today, and I didn't do this on purpose. In fact, I didn't even know until I talked to Eva from the Vermont Prevention Coalition
Yeah.
yesterday morning, that today in the city of Barrie, they're putting the first naloxone box in at the Turning Point Center of Central Vermont. And then sometime in the next few days, they'll also put one at the new Women's Center in Barrie as well. But yeah, so that's happening at 2 o'clock today. So super excited about that as well.
We listen, and I've said this several times on the air, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but you and I have been talking about this for a couple of years now, about you doing something like this. The inspiration behind you saying, "All right, enough's enough. We gotta do this." Is what now?
Well, sadly, it's the inspiration just being a parent in the trenches of it, and knowing that this is something that we truly need to just talk more about. We don't talk about it enough, well, we do, but not necessarily in the best way. And so, just wanting to educate people and get people to understand a little more and have conversations, no matter if it's negative conversation or positive conversation. Conversation is conversation, right? And so I look forward to it all. But the kick in the seat was unfortunately the loss of someone recently to an overdose that was important to me, that he and his family mean a lot to me. And so deciding to do this in his memory, and just finally do it and not be chicken anymore was a must. So that young man is Tyler Matthews, and so that's who we're dedicating, and that's who my show will always be in memory of.
You have certainly had countless hours of microphone time leading up to this, so you're going to be in the driver's seat. You're going to be hosting this podcast all by yourself, and I think you're going to do just fine. You've certainly had plenty of practice. You're not shy of the microphone. You've got guests lined up a mile long already, and you haven't even started this thing, which is amazing. I think it's incredible. And listen, I said to you the other day that when it comes to drug use and drug, I think the word, I don't think we're supposed to say drug abuse, right, Paul? What's
substance use?
Substance use disorder.
Disorder. Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to that, living right here in Central Vermont, all three of us come across people all the time that are, and we see it mostly on social media, but we just see so many opinions, and we hear so many opinions about substance use, especially right here in Central Vermont, and what we should do about it, and what we shouldn't do about it, and this and that, and everyone is very polarized about this, or at least very strongly opinionated. And like I said to Raylene the other day, even for the folks that are quiet, even for the folks that are not keyboard pirates on social media, constantly providing their opinions and feelings, it doesn't matter who you are. You've got an opinion about it. It might be kind of deep-seated and private, but you've got an opinion about this and what should be done about it. So this is...
Yeah, and I welcome all of those opinions. Like I said, I know that this is going to get great attention, and it's also going to get negative attention. And I welcome both, because that's the only way we're going to have a good conversation. In my mind, it's... there's nothing pretty about addiction or mental health.
Sure.
And so to pick it all apart is what the goal is.
Absolutely, and that's you got a long road in front of you to do that because there's so many different spin-offs the rabbit holes that you can go down on this. I mean, it's just mental health alone, and the two very much do shake hands. They're closely related. We've done so much work with Washington County Mental Health. I'm sure you're going to be having them on. They have been pushing so much. Their crisis hotline, and we as our sponsors, we love to bang that drum here that they're always ready, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help, no matter who you are, for any reason. Whether it's suicide or just finding the resources to go to, they'll do it, and they'll do it fast, and they'll do it well.
Yes, and there is a Facebook page, and it's no secret Facebook page. I've opened that up. I did that last night, and so if that is a place that people want to share their stories, maybe recommend a guest, or ask if they themselves can come on, or if they would just rather put their commentary there instead of participate in the shows, that's okay as well. But the shows will air on Aired Out.
All right.
Noon on Tuesdays.
Starting today.
Starting
in a couple of hours.
Yes.
You must be very excited.
I am very excited.
Good job, Raylene.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you both. And have a great show.
All right. And don't forget, we've got a June mixer coming up at Bulldog. We are so excited about it. June 21st. It's a Wednesday night from 5 to 6:30. We're going to be over at Bulldog's Metal Recycling and Storage Containers, broadcasting live, hanging out with them, and mingling with our, not only Bulldog, one of our sponsors, but also the Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce, another one of our sponsors. So we're going to have some fun. Refreshments and snacks and junkyard fun and games. They're going to do a hammer and a car stress buster. It's going to be a good time.
Bring your scrap metal.
Yeah, well, you can. By the way, with all the rain, we got word this morning, Paul, that the Berry City pool is officially overflowing right now.
Oh, splendid! Let's go.
Just wanted to let you know.
My favorite thing as a kid was to play in the flooded grass in the yard.
Oh my God, me too.
Massive cloud bursts and rain, just everything, and then the water's running down the side of your yard, and
I did the same thing.
4 inches of water over top of the grass. It's so cool looking.
And you had grass stains for like 6 months.
Yeah, you'd be soaking wet.
In your skin.
Yeah.
You're right. Not your clothes, in your skin.
Yeah.
You have grass in your ears, in your nostrils, teeth.
Yeah, you and I played differently as children, I think.
Oh, no. What do you mean? Didn't you run down and go slide head first?
Yeah.
Well, then you must have had grass in your nostrils.
Maybe. I don't know.
We have a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about aliens. We're going to talk about Sasquatch. But first, let's just run a couple of headlines here. Delta Flight 986 headed to Minneapolis made an emergency landing at Burlington because of engine trouble. I don't know if you saw that story, but that was kind of funky. Let's see. New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, all three states. Target stores evacuating their customers Saturday night because of bogus bomb threats.
Better than real bomb threat. I mean, better than a real bomb, I guess.
This is true, but all connected to the fact that Target was selling some rainbow pride featured clothing in their stores. So how sad. Too bad.
Geared towards children, and that's a hot topic. People have talk about opinions.
Yes.
People don't care for that.
Nope. Red hot. Yeah, I know. Let's see. We have what was the other big story? The Mountaineers last night fell to the Gulls. Believe, yes, they did. What was the score? I can't remember. But they here it is, right here, somewhere. Have you been to a game yet?
I have not.
Paul, we gotta go, man.
Sure.
I'm serious. We need to go and do this.
Yeah.
And share a beer and a hot dog and be healthy. CVU baseball got its third D1 title. Congratulations to those guys. What a weekend it was. National headlines. We have Pat Sajak leaving the Wheel of Fortune after 40 years.
You think he was skimming off of that wheel? Like he had some kind of algorithm built in where every time someone hit that jackpot, like some fraction of it went to his bank account instead?
What are you implying?
I just wonder if he set himself up for retirement in a healthy way. There's a lot of spins on that wheel. You pull in a fraction of a percent every time someone hits $1,000. Would
any of this surprise you?
What if he did that? No.
Have you come?
I would love it.
Have you come to a point in your life where, if the news broke yesterday that Pat Sajak was, we're not trying to create any rumors here, that he was patting his pockets.
If a long time TV game show host had been patting his pockets, we won't use his name specifically. That way, we're safe.
Right.
But yeah. So if that had happened, no, would not surprise me.
Wouldn't
Nothing
surprise
does.
you.
Nothing does.
Yeah.
Why would anything surprise me anymore?
Nothing would surprise me anymore either.
I mean, there's still the elements of shock and fear, but it's not. Well, I guess that's probably the definition of surprise, right?
Yes. I mean, yes.
I don't know. It's yeah. I don't know.
God, I mean, look at this. The shit that we wake up to on a Monday morning. 10 people injured in a shooting in Denver after the Nuggets won their NBA title. 10 people, no one dead, from what we understand.
So, if you haven't celebrated your team's championship by shooting somebody, you're not living.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. In my total serious voice. So I must really mean it.
What's there's got to be there's something wrong. Like, I mean, this is horrible. That's their first NBA title win, and they got some asshat running around trying to shoot people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it happens all the time. All these times, it's championship, these big wins and stuff, and people are tearing down street signs and knocking over lamp posts and flipping cars over.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
3 of the injured are in critical condition. This happened at around 12:30 in the morning. It was about 3.5 hours after the game.
So it wasn't related to the game then?
I don't know.
I don't know the details.
Happened about a mile away from Ball Arena, where the Nuggets defeated the Miami Heat last night. Speaking of which, did you hear about Conor McGregor knocking out the Miami Heat mascot in a mid-game stunt that went wrong and sent the mascot to the ER? Not sure what that was all about. Jesus.
They got a professional
There's
fighter.
some bizarre shit going on in the world. And now it's just coming out, other national stories, that Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, that he died in prison at 81, but now it's just being confirmed now that it was suicide. But they won't say how he killed himself. But you remember...
Probably didn't mail himself a bomb.
Probably didn't. But do you remember? Of course, you remember all of this. Ted, the Unabomber.
Yeah, I was in like first grade. No, I was probably middle school.
Do you remember when he tried to hang himself?
No.
With his own underwear.
That almost sounds familiar.
In prison.
Yeah, I think we had some jokes about that.
Yeah,
probably.
We did.
Probably had some laughs on that one.
I have one right now that I just can't do it though. I won't do it. I just can't. And then the other big story, and I shouldn't say the other big story because it really, like it or not, it is the biggest story, is that Trump is going to be arraigned today in Miami.
Mm-hmm. So what are they distracting you from?
That's interesting that you say that.
And that's always the question whenever anything happens.
That's so interesting.
But this is actually. I mean, well, the fact that it's happening is the distraction. The newsworthiness of it is legitimate because there's a lot of people that like that guy. So a lot of people would be interested in what happens with it. But the fact that they're doing it, I think that's the deception or the distraction. Did you hear last week that there's evidence that Joe Biden took a $5 million bribe or payment or something from someone in Ukraine while he was a vice president? I think
I did, and the FBI is investigating him now.
Yeah, slowly, and probably not as not with as much zeal as they did Trump. There seems to be a bias there. I don't care. I think they're both scoundrels.
Sure,
but it does seem to be, perhaps this negative story about Biden comes out, and so they got to double down on some of their Trump stuff. But they're making it more popular because people are so upset. As people are already so divided and are already polarized, like you're saying before with the other stuff. When you've already attached to a group like that, even if it's unwanted attention, you bring attention to it, you're going to strengthen somebody's resolve. It's like it's this cult of personality stuff. And you see with Heaven's Gate and those type of cults, and then they say like, okay, this is the day the aliens are going to come and rescue us from Earth. This day, everybody meet on top of the mountain in your purple jumpsuits. I might be mixing my cults up here, and then everybody shows up for that appointed time, and nothing happens. And you would think, well, all these people are going to go, wow, okay, we were misled. This isn't real. Let's go home and forget about this cult guy. But they don't. They say, oh, it must be our fault. We must have done this wrong, because they're so attached to this belief that they don't want to let go of it. It's too uncomfortable to let go of it. So, when you got somebody like Trump or Biden and everybody loves them so much, I can't understand why, but they align with these camps so strongly that even if you attack one of their camps, it's just going to double their resolve. So all of this attention they're putting on Trump, even though it seems like they're trying to drag him through the mud, it's actually probably reinforcing his supporters.
Both of these guys, as the New York Times or New York Post says, when the walls are closing in, they laugh in your face and dare you to come after them.
I just can't believe out of 330 million people, these are the two best options we have for another presidential race.
Thank you
Are you
for
kidding
saying
me?
that.
I've been saying that for years.
Thank you.
In 2016, it could have been Jeb Bush was running the primaries. If Trump didn't beat him out, it could have been Bush Clinton again. It would have been the second time in my lifetime that I saw a Bush Clinton presidential race.
Paul,
out of 330 million people?
You need to stop. I'm not supposed to be talking about politics on my podcast.
Well, you're not. I am. Okay, I'll stop.
You just stop it. Biden, meanwhile,
I'm not promoting either side, right? So it's neutral. This is news.
Biden is laughing off the FBI bribery claims.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got it. I think I have the audio here.
I can't wait for this.
Well, maybe I don't. I thought I had the audio. Where is it? Right here? No, I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, right here.
Wait. The bribery allegation, Congresswoman Nancy Mace says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to the congressional Republicans?
Where's the money? I'm joking.
Mr. President,
it's a bunch of malarkey.
Mr. President, what is...
Wait.
The bribery allegation, Congresswoman Nancy Mace says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to the congressional Republicans?
Where's the money? I'm joking.
Mr. President,
it's a bunch of malarkey.
Mr. President, what do you...
Isn't that amazing?
I thought you were gonna play a track of like one of the Joker characters laughing. I thought you were making a joke. No. Here's Biden laughing off the claims, and then I thought you were just gonna play like some kind of hysterical laughter. That was an actual clip,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Where's the money? Well, tell me how Hunter Biden was such a high level consultant with I don't know. This isn't whatevs.
Apparently, the FBI has a file that he allegedly took a $5 million bribe from a Ukrainian energy company in return for a policy decision when he was vice president. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of stuff tied into Ukraine, and it doesn't make any sense for us to be spending so much money there when more people are struggling here in this country. So it just makes you wonder about some stuff. I don't have any answers. I can't identify any of it, but it makes you gotta wonder about it.
I don't know. And then Trump today. I mean, we have to talk about this because it's huge. I mean, it's massive. Can you believe that our one-time president is going to be indicted? I mean, this is like what's going on here, dude? Or arraigned.
I don't know.
That he had these documents, willfully hid them, and kind of flaunted the fact that he had these documents, and even ordered his driver to hide them out at his Mar-a-Lago compound, even in the bathroom. I guess there's pictures that are all over the internet.
Yeah, and Joe Biden had him in his garage next to his car.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. It's not. They're making it seem like it's only Trump, and it's not. And I don't like Trump, but it's not only him. It's all of them. So when people are looking at this, is like it seems like a lot of it gets one-sided reporting, and it's not. It's everybody. Pence had him too. They all got him. These classified documents.
I don't.
But tell us about it. Aren't we the people? Aren't we the boss? Aren't we the people who are in charge of all this stuff? So let us see what's on those papers.
What say you, Rex?
I say you're trying to compare apples to oranges. You're talking about one guy that had documents that he didn't personally go through, that they were packed by we have government departments that pack this stuff up. You have two sets of people. Everybody wants to talk about Hillary Clinton, whatever. So she was the Secretary of State. She was doing communications with her staff. She was working. They didn't have intent. What they show right now, the difference between these cases is Espionage Act and mishandling of classified information. Those are two different things, way two different things. You can't compare those things. One's a misdemeanor that holds a maximum sentence of 3 years in jail. The other one is a felony that carries almost 30 years in jail. There's only one of them out of all three that have been charged with an Espionage Act. And that's not about just having classified information in your possession. That was never an issue. He would have never been indicted, but he showed intent to keep them. He obstructed by lying. He obstructed by having his lawyers lie to DOJ. That's the difference between these. And you know what the other difference is between this? I would be in jail. You know why? Because I'm not a career politician. I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand. I've been in the military. I understand classified information, but there's so much protocol. There's everything. Politicians stay politicians their whole life. Their trophy at the end is to become a president. And that's after they've learned how to walk that fine line of the law. Donald Trump never learned how to walk that fine line. He tried to bully his way through. He's tried to do this stuff without walking on the line and just thinking he can do it. That's the difference. Do they all do it? Absolutely. But you have one set of guys that are career lawyers and politicians that understand how to walk on which side of that line. And so for me, if I got thrown into that position and then surrounded myself with non-political advisors, I absolutely would be in jail myself. The best thing that could come out of all of this is now they go tit for tat and they start prosecuting every single crooked politician out there. I would much rather see that. I would love to see that. Let's put them all in jail. If you can prove it, if you can get an indictment like they have against Trump, against every single one of them politicians, then do it. Everybody has their chance. Everybody is in power to have their chance. The Republicans have their chance right now with all of their committees to go after Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, all of them. So they have their chance. Their chance is right now. Through their committees, through their subpoena powers, they have their chance.
Rex, do you think justice is blind in America? Do you think the FBI has a credibility crisis going on right now?
It depends on what party you talk to. Because back in 2015, they didn't. Then 2020, they do. They have a credibility problem according to which party they're investigating. And then that party is the one that's upset with them.
What do you think we should expect from the FBI investigation into the Biden family?
So far, a lot of it is a huge nothing burger, but I mean, I guess we'll see if they can get evidence. I mean, didn't we hear the same thing about Hillary? And then Trump was going to come in. He was going to let's try to go through all of the Hillary was going to go to jail. Obama was going to go to jail. Joe Biden was going to go to jail. We had the DOJ. We had the Republicans in charge. We were going to put everybody in jail. Hillary Clinton went through so many trials, and it just got exhausting because every single one of those Republican trials and everything wound up finding nothing. The thing that they didn't find was intent. That's the difference that we're seeing today versus what we saw then. So the government gives you a lot of leeway so that you don't get in trouble. Like they ask you, the IRS will give you so many chances before they start taking your shit. They want to give you as much chance, and every politician knows this. So
Trump was hiding these documents very obviously, and he was bragging. He was not only bragging that he had them, but also sharing them with people.
Absolutely. And so that's where the intent comes in.
That's the part that might help cook his goose.
Do we think that Hillary Clinton and Biden are smart people? Absolutely not. But they're not showing intent. When the government said, did they mishandle shit? Absolutely. If I got caught with classified information, out here, the same thing. They're going to come and they're going to be like, why do you have this? And I'm going to say, I didn't know I had, or I have a choice. And I'm like, I don't have nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Guess what? Now I'm going to be charged with an Espionage Act just for lying about it because I'm trying to retain something that's not mine. So Pence, all those guys, when they were like, yeah, even though Hillary had even smashed all those things, she still gave it over when she was subpoenaed. So the government gives you a shit ton of leeway to be a shitty person. And so I don't feel bad for them. But if we can get indictments on every single politician out there, especially if they're dirty, then so be it. Start going tit for tat. Let's start getting rid of these crooked people everywhere. Yeah. I'm down with it.
Rex Thompson live from the Northeast Correctional Complex up in St. Johnsbury this morning. Isn't it? I think it's amazing that they let him use the phone.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. To think that they would let him,
as long as he pays for it,
pick up a landline and call us on Aired Out is absolutely amazing.
Sure.
What say you about his comments? Agree? Disagree?
I think they're all corrupt. All of them. So, I mean, if one doesn't show intent, but it sounds like he's saying it's because they're walking the line. Yeah. So they know how to make it look like they're not showing intent.
Yeah.
There's clear bias in the way things are presented. It's all the same party. There's one party, in my perspective. There's no... and you don't have a choice. There's no choice in this. You get to choose between A or B, and A or B are come from the same place. So
you're a father.
All messed up.
You're a father. Your kids are right around the same age as mine. Do you worry about life for your kids after you're gone with the political climate of this world?
No. None of that matters.
Have you had a chance to tell them, look, the world's pretty screwed up?
I don't think they need to know that right now.
Okay. All right.
None of this stuff matters.
Couple of birthdays today. Ricky LaCroix, Dave McAllister, Lisa Rubin, let's see, Molly Spalding, Amber Perry, all celebrating birthdays. Diane Hall. And who's the celebrity? Tim Allen is on the birthday list today. It's 70 years old. So I got a chance to run over to Whitehall, New York, not long ago. Presumably the home of Bigfoot. Have you been there?
Yeah, it's where Fort William Henry is. Like right up the road.
Well,
so that's about all I've been there for. But yeah, I've been through it.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
We passed
Glens Falls.
We passed through all that on the way over there.
Have you seen all the, have you seen the Bigfoot sculpture out by the side of the road?
No, I didn't see it.
There's Bigfoot, signs everywhere, and I took a picture and I sent it to you of bogus stuff. It was a sign outside of a of a ride at the Great Escape with all these bogus Sasquatch sightings. What do we know? So, in Sherilyn and I got into this conversation. I said, I'm going to ask Paul, what do we know about, what's the history of Whitehall, New York, Glens Falls area, and all that of, like, there's been more. We need to get Travis in here.
Yeah, Travis, he's the Bigfoot guy.
Can we call him up this morning?
He's probably at work.
We need to find out.
Yeah.
I want to find out. What is it? There were more Bigfoot sightings there than
I've never
anywhere else?
heard. I'd never. This is news to me that Bigfoot sightings were popular in Whitehall. I had no idea.
Very much. There's like signs and there's like stuff on the side of the road as you're driving. I don't know what the deal is, but I want to find out, and I know Travis will have the answers.
Yeah.
You believe in Bigfoot?
Sure.
Do you believe he's got a beard like yours?
What do you think I'm modeling my beard after?
Understand. Do you think there are several
Big feet.
big feet in the world? I mean, how could
Sure.
there not be?
Well, it's one of the, they got the Yeti and there's different types of large creatures. Different
lake monsters.
areas.
Lake monsters.
Yeah, that's not a Bigfoot though.
Well, I understand, but I mean,
right,
we've got the Loch Ness, we've got Champ, they're all over the place.
Right.
What
yeah,
the
there's
hell
a lot
are
of
they?
sure. I don't know. It's got to be something, I think.
The connection with all of these things is, for me, anyway, is fascinating. Because I am one of these guys where I have to see it, taste it, touch it, feel it, smell it to believe it. That's
why you get kicked out of museums all the time.
Do you have to bring that up right now?
I do, yeah, every
When I
time.
got-
Every opportunity I get, I like to bring that up.
The day I got thrown out of the Fairbanks, do you have to bring that up? But why do so many of us want to believe we're so easily impressionable that we can believe in something based on testimony or examples from others that are either founded or unfounded?
Everything is that way, right? Everything. Unless you saw it, tasted it, smelled it, touched it, heard it yourself, it's testimony. So everything historical is testimony.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about anything. But people don't like that. People don't want to. They want to believe there's certain books and there's certain people.
Sure.
They want to believe those things. That's fine. You can believe it, but remember, you don't have personal experience with it.
Yeah.
You cannot know something if you haven't experienced it.
Sure.
It's somebody else's knowledge, maybe, or it's somebody else's belief, and then you're agreeing to it.
Yeah.
And then you're accepting their testimony of it. Humans are incredibly unreliable.
Exactly.
We're the worst eyewitnesses. Terrible. All kinds of studies have been done on that. It's really fascinating. You watch all these like they do these psychological studies on human memory and perception and stuff like that. So it's amazing what you miss.
Sure.
You ever seen the basketball passing video? I think it's change blindness is what they're showing there.
No.
See these kids playing they're just passing a basketball, and so the video starts and it says count how many times there's I think there's two. There's a red ball and a blue ball. So how many times is the red ball passed or whatever it is. But so you got this group of like 10 kids and they're just passing this ball back and forth, and there's two balls, and so you're counting the one, and then at the end of it says how many, and you go 13. You're like 13. And you're like, yeah, I win. You're thinking you're so great because you counted how many times the red ball was passed, and then it says, but did you see the moonwalking ape?
Yes, right.
And then you're like, what?
In the background.
And then they show it again in slow motion, and there it is. This gorilla costume guy is moonwalking across the whole frame, and you say, no, that wasn't it. It was the same video. And then so you look back at the first video again, and there he was. You just didn't see him because you were watching the red ball. So what's going on?
Great point.
What's going on when the news is telling any story they're telling? They're telling you to focus on the red ball. How many times is the red ball being passed, and what's going on in the background?
It's
We
so
have no idea,
interesting.
and you'll never know. And you think, no, I would see it. I'm so perceptive. No, you're not. You don't even know what you're doing. You're not even making your own decisions every day. Yeah. You're running on autopilot. Your body, you conditioned your body to do things, and now it's doing it. It's doing it without your thought. So we don't know what. That's why none of this stuff matters. We don't know what we're doing. We're just running around. So we're playing in a video game, and we don't realize it's a video game.
You know, the thing that gets me is it's like You know, the videos that we do have of Sasquatch walking through the woods, they look, and I've seen some of them. Sherilyn and I have watched some of these documentaries on Netflix and stuff. We've seen this. They look so bogus.
Yeah.
There's a couple out there, and one of them is particularly famous, but it's or popular. I shouldn't say famous, but it just looks like a guy. It just is just the his body language, the way he's.
Yeah, but how do you know
moving.
it's not? How do you know it's not a guy? Bigfoot could have guy tendencies, and he walks like a guy because he is. But he's just, I don't know.
Here's how I'm going to believe in Sasquatch.
You
When
gotta lick him. I don't.
Maybe not that.
This is where I don't like your scientific method. I mean, it's functional.
Maybe not.
It is
that
thorough.
Yeah.
But I just.
I'm going to believe in Sasquatch when I'm hearing something get into my cooler while I'm sleeping in my tent, and I unzip the tent and shine the flashlight out, and I see him getting into my cooler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna believe 75%. And then when he attacks me,
Right.
trying to get into my tent, when he attacks me, then I'm gonna probably get almost to 100%.
And then when you take out your ruler and measure his foot, then you're at 100%.
100 at that point. Last April, I was, and I'm not bullshitting here, I was driving home, and there was these orange lights in the sky.
Yeah,
Right here in central Vermont.
I remember that.
Ironically, or coincidentally, you saw them
Yep.
as well. And so did a whole bunch of other people. A long list of people that
Right.
were texting me. It was so apparent that I decided to go live on Aired Out, up in Orange, and showed these lights that were sporadically flashing around in the sky. No rhyme or reason. It was this one particular night. And of course, immediately people, and this is how we are as humans, we have to give reason.
Yeah, you got to explain
It's the military.
Right.
It's the military jets. It's the North Korea. I saw it with my own eyes. I experienced it with my own eyes. I went live on Aired Out and showed people as it was happening, and you could see what was happening.
Right.
And I can't explain that. You can't explain that.
And some people will readily accept that and say, yes, that's absolutely some unidentified aerial phenomenon from outside this known world.
Yeah.
And other people will say it's a jet, it's a nonsense swamp gas, whatever. And some people will absolutely believe it and some people won't. And some people will entertain it and whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good the evidence is.
Yeah, I mean, there it was right in front of my own eyes, and it was fascinating. I mean,
Right, and has your life changed since then?
No.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm just. I don't have any follow up on that. But it's just interesting. We have these experiences, and I can't explain that.
Yeah.
And you think this is really. What is that? That could be something that's altering, like completely life altering. Well, I guess I'll go to bed now. I got to get up for work tomorrow, and we just go back into that same routine. We just get right back in some crazy. Well, all of this stuff. It's so amazing.
I just, I'll always wonder what that was.
Yeah,
I'll always wonder.
Well,
what
we'll
that
know.
was.
I mean, so did you see? You saw the whistleblower comments last week. The government. He was at Air Force, and he was involved in some kind of top secret program, and then now he's coming out. He filed a whistleblower complaint or file or whatever form, I don't know, to Congress or something, whatever the official thing is. And someone had an interview with him, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. And he claims that the United States government has technical vehicles, I think is what he called them, that are not of human origin.
Okay.
And pilots of those vehicles that are not human bodies. So he's claiming the United States government. He says he can guarantee it that the United States government has non-human or originated craft and beings. And then a day later, after I saw that story for the first time, I saw a story coming out of Las Vegas. It happened on, I think it was April 30th, There's a police dispatch call that they released, and a man calls in and says, something crashed in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And now there's two beings standing next to it, 9 or 10 feet tall. And so they send the police over, and across town, another police officer captured on body camera a green, bluish orb coming down out of the sky and seeming to hit the ground. And so the police officer investigating this 911 call said, I wouldn't have come out and talked to you, but a partner of mine had seen this light streak across the sky, and so it's interesting to me, so I want to check it out. There's no evidence. There's no physical evidence. They say they showed a picture. They said there's a circle indent on the ground, but it's in a truck yard. It's in a yard full of vehicles, and so there's tire tracks all over the place. So it looked like there was it just looked like a couple of different tire tracks that were circular.
The police were called and were involved.
Yeah, they went to it and then they looked at it. But there was one of the news channels I saw that was reporting on it showed Ring, like the Ring cameras on a doorbell camera from somewhere nearby that saw like the sky lit up and there was like a crashing sound.
Yes,
heard on it.
You sent me the video.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't find it right now.
Yeah,
of course, I can't.
But it's interesting. All this stuff is interesting. So all of a sudden this stuff is ramping up again. They're telling these stories. So again, are you watching the red ball being passed, or are you watching the moonwalking gorilla in the background?
Yeah.
But for years there's been this speculation that there's going to be an alien invasion hoax. Ronald Reagan started off. We were talking about this last week with this idea that some people claim they want to create a one world government. I think they already have one world government. But they don't have it publicly, so maybe they want to do it publicly. And in order to do it publicly, they need to have something that people can unite around, and they can unite around something like that, an alien invasion. So they're going to fake it, like they always do. But that doesn't mean it's going to be fake death. It's going to be real death. It's a false flag event.
Yeah,
it comes in. It's a real event, but it comes in under false pretense, deception, and so that's the speculation. This is supposed to happen next year, maybe. I have a friend who claims he was abducted by aliens some years ago. I believe him. His story is interesting to me. And he said that the aliens told him that within 3 years everybody would know, and that was 3 years ago. So it's interesting the way all these things line up. Is it coincidence? Is it scripted? Is it synchronicities? Who knows? But Stephen Greer, he's way into the UFO research stuff, and he has developed this pattern. It's all metaphysics, quantum physics. So I can't understand the science of it the way he explains it, but he's got this program of close encounters of the fifth kind, where humans are making contact with the so-called aliens, the extraterrestrials, and they've got some interesting footage. Again, it's just lights in the sky, but it seems to be in response to this CE5 close encounters of the fifth kind meditation process that he's doing. They seem to be telepathically communicating with these lights in the sky, and they got video of it. It's really fascinating.
I believe that there's something in the waters. Lake Champlain, Loch Ness, all over the world. I think it's something. I don't know what it is, but I do believe there's something. And I don't believe it's just one, prehistoric aquatic dinosaur. I believe there's a bunch of them. They're probably similar, and I believe they're all over the world, not just Lake Champlain.
The old maps have them on them, drawing pictures of them on there.
I don't know what it is, but I believe there's something in there.
Yep.
I believe that there's something in the sky. There's something that's extraterrestrial, but I don't know what it is. And I don't know what it is and how it's affecting us, and maybe they're listening to us right now. I also believe that the government knows some stuff about UFOs, and that they're hiding it from us because they don't want to create pandemonium. Thanks to who was it? Orson Welles, who fucked that all up.
Yeah, it would be different though. I think nowadays, I don't know. Now it's an isolated thing. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Well, I don't like that though when they use that excuse. Oh, we want to not create panic. Well, create panic. Who says that you have more? This is the whole thing comes back to, like, you telling somebody you can't eat or drink something. Yeah. Who are you to tell me what I can't grow in my backyard and eat if I want to?
Sure.
You can't. You're not more. You don't have authority over me.
Sure.
I have authority over me, and I don't have authority over you, but I have authority over me. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. I mean, you can impose yourself, but that's a bully.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. That's evil in my opinion.
Sure.
To impose. So who are you to tell me what, to protect me? Thank you for the protection. You're protecting me from the reality of nature.
Right.
No, don't protect me from it.
Yeah.
No, I have complete access. I can interact with lights in the sky. If I want to, if I can figure it out myself, I can do that.
Sure.
And so I'm interested in checking that out.
Yeah.
But all this stuff, we're able to do it. A lot of it we're able to do. We're able to investigate it ourselves. But there are some limits where we get stopped. But if the information's already there, well, who are you to gatekeep this? I mean, if they've got free energy, like atmospheric energy collection, and running cars off of water and hydrogen and all this kind of stuff, why are you hiding it?
Sure.
So you can make money off of people?
Yeah.
If you've got methods to stop war, why do you keep doing war? Because you can make a lot of money off of war? If you've got methods to heal all sicknesses, why aren't you doing it? Well, because you make more money off of selling junk foods and drugs, medicines.
Yeah. Totally
and healthcare. And if that's, I mean, this is very, I don't know whatever you want to take this perspective, but if this is the reality, if this is what's going on, if people are doing these things, if they have all of this information, it's accessible, and they're keeping it from people.
Cure to cancer.
That's evil. Well, the cure to cancer is better diet for a lot of people. Most of us.
Yeah.
The evidence is that there's research papers out there. There's journal articles out there. The medical journals have these papers out there. They don't push it, though.
Yeah.
Why not? Because if we're all eating broccoli every day and we're not sick as much, well, then a lot of people are going to lose their money. And who funds the medical universities? Okay, now we're going crazy. But this is if this is reality, don't you want to know?
Yeah.
This is The Matrix, the movie The Matrix. When Cypher is out, he's out of the Matrix. He's with what's the guy? Morpheus's crew, and then he decides he doesn't want to be out of the Matrix anymore. It's uncomfortable. They're eating slop. They're living in these cave system, in this spaceship thing underneath, down a subterranean ship of some kind. He doesn't like it anymore. He wants to get back in the Matrix because in the Matrix, everything's perfect. Everything's what it's comfortable. And so he meets with the agent and he says, "I want to get back in. I want to be put back in the Matrix. I want to be plugged back into the Matrix. I don't want to have a nice life. I don't want to remember any of this stuff. He says, I've learned ignorance is bliss." I think a lot of people are in that boat.
Do you know? And I don't know.
I don't know anything.
Can we play this YouTube video of the link that you sent me from Channel 8 News in Las Vegas?
I imagine so. Once it's on YouTube, I think it's public. I don't know.
Well, should we find out?
Yeah, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? The show gets canceled?
Yeah.
Forever and ever, and then you have to go get a job at 7-Eleven?
Is there a
Oh, you could be arrested and you'd be up in jail with Rex.
Well, that's true.
Huh?
That's not a bad idea.
Then you guys could have a podcast from inside.
Let me try to play this
All right, play
now.
it.
All right.
Southern Nevada is abuzz tonight with stories about the crash of an unknown object and the alleged sighting of strange creatures in the backyard of a Northwest Valley home.
So it was last night that 8 News Now investigator David Charnes reported about how Metro Police responded back on May 1st after receiving a strange call from a very frightened family. Well, our report generated a global response, and now piecing together the sequence of events has been kind of tricky, in part because the primary witnesses have been almost as elusive as the beings they say they encountered. Chief Investigator George Knapp is as perplexed as the rest of us, George.
As you know, this is not our first UFO rodeo. We first heard about the incident in early May via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world: an alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
8 News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard, where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
You mentioned, George, in that piece that, they were frozen because so many people have been critical of, like, why didn't they get their phone out? Why didn't they shoot?
Yeah, this is some far out stuff. Why
Sure is.
Like she was just saying, why didn't they get their phone out?
Well, I'd seen a guy said he tried to. It wasn't working or something like that. I mean, I think one of the kids in one of the interviews said that when he went to the backyard, it was hazy. It looked distorted or it was out of focus.
Yeah.
Said it wasn't my eyes; it was the scene was out of focus. And something, whatever kind of energy this thing's putting off or whatever. So maybe the phones wouldn't have worked anyway. The cameras wouldn't have worked. Who knows? Or it's just terrifying. All right, so something crashes in your backyard. Yeah. You look up and there's a 10-foot creature looking at you with shiny eyes.
Yeah. I'd have the shotgun out.
Yeah. The first thing you're going to do is pull your phone out and be like, "Hey, hang on, before you eat me, or whatever you're going to do to me." Because everything that we've seen, all the movies, everything programs us to expect that these things are going to be hostile.
Sure.
So before you do anything bad to me, let me take a picture of you and post it to Instagram so all the people can know that this is real.
Right. Because Instagram is real.
Right. Well, I mean, even still, how many false images have you seen on everything? So, like, how can you trust anything anymore unless you've seen it yourself? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Phone first.
Right.
Gun next. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Sure. It was something today. I don't know what it was.
Paul Brodie is also the host of Just Saying Things, which is a podcast that is every Thursday night.
Every Thursday night.
On Spotify.
Be on about 8 o'clock. We're not live. We record it and post it immediately, but it's usually up 7:30, 8 o'clock every Thursday night.
What are you going to be talking about this coming Thursday night?
Probably this kind of stuff.
You and Travis go a little bit further in depth.
Yeah, sometimes.
Is there any Mary Jane involved with any of your discussions or anything?
Not for me.
Maui Wowie?
I'll say not for me.
Okay. Edibles?
No. Well, unless you consider an occasional donut or bacon.
Yeah.
Edible.
100 days, the Florida scientist Dr. Deep Sea resurfaces. Yes!
He made it.
Unbelievable.
Guinness World Record.
Here he is. All right. As I show the picture, you set it up here. There's the picture. Who is this guy?
He's a Dr. Deep Sea. He spent the last 100 days underwater in an ocean hotel to measure the effects of underwater living, which he thinks will have beneficial impacts on health scenarios and aging. Yeah. He claimed it seems that he has reduced his stature by half an inch by spending 100 days under this pressurized environment, which I still do not understand how it's pressurized. He's in a hotel. It's underwater. He's in a hotel, but I don't understand it. I don't get it. The water's not pressing his body. I don't get it. What is the pressure created from? I don't know. What is the pressure created from? Is it created from the depth or is it created from the water on top of you? But isn't the building going to offset that pressure?
Yeah.
Please explain this to me, Dr.
He's an associate professor in Florida, and he's calling it a research mission. 100 days below the ocean's surface, 22 feet under the water in Key Largo, Florida. It's been there since March 1st. Holy shit. This guy's 55 years old, teaches at the University of South Florida. And, yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
I don't get it. I don't get it for an instant.
Yeah. Yeah, there could be, something involved here, other than just, I mean, there's another picture of him right there. And here he is, I guess, talking with the media right here, or a doctor somewhere right there, but just showing pictures of this guy. 22 feet of water. Not very deep, but certainly deep enough to be underwater and not have to, answer to your wife to pick up a gallon of milk on the way home.
He's in an ocean hotel. I still don't get it. I don't get it.
Living the good life,
I guess.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Love having you on. Paul Brodie.
Bye.
Don't forget to catch his podcast, Just Saying Things, every Thursday night. Spotify.
Yeah.
Where else?
I don't know. 4 other places host it, but I don't know which ones. I'm just saying things. That's all that matters.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah.
Love having you. So, just a yes or no. Just yes or no. Is Sasquatch real?
Yes.